Hello and welcome to Module 9 for ED 5840 for the spring semester. I'm already sharing my screen, so we'll go ahead and get into it. And the photo I'm sharing, this is one I took in southeastern Oregon, out in the desert, middle of nowhere. And this is Steens Mountain, southeastern Oregon, and this is southeast of Burns, Oregon, about 2 hours from Boise, Jordan Valley area, kind of on the road between Nampa and Winnemucca, Nevada. Not too, I'd say probably halfway between the Idaho state line and the Nevada state line. Anyway, pretty, uh, just beautiful looking back toward the Steens Mountains. That's looking to the west, southeastern Oregon. So for this module, it introduces the concept of factorial ANOVA, specifically with a focus on the two-way between subjects design. Just as a heads up, this topic is a bit more involved and conceptually tricky than our previous work with one-way ANOVAs. In previous modules, we examined the one-way ANOVA where there was a single independent variable or factor with multiple levels. In the case of the two-way factorial ANOVA, we add an additional independent variable to the research design and analysis. In other words, the two-way notation indicates that there are two independent variables, also known as factors. And we're also getting closer to regression analysis. Not quite there, but getting close. The analysis examines the relationship between the factors and the dependent variable. The analysis allows us to examine the data for interaction effects between the factors. In fact, investigating interaction effects is a primary reason to implement a factorial ANOVA design. For this module, we keep our focus on the two independent variables, the two-way design. But one could expand this design to a three-way factorial ANOVA. The three-way ANOVA would examine three independent variables and their effect on the dependent variable. With the addition of each factor, the complexity of interpreting the results increases. It is not common to see ANOVAs used in the behavioral research literature with greater than three independent variables. Through the readings, we will examine the mathematical foundation behind the two-way between subjects factorial ANOVA. Once a good conceptual understanding of this foundation is developed, SPSS or one of the online calculators can be used to do most of the number crunching for us. The following figure outlines the basic process to follow after conducting the initial steps of a two-way factorial ANOVA procedure. The videos and the readings then address the specifics involved. So here's kind of a conceptual picture of what takes place when we're looking at a two-way factorial ANOVA. So the activities for this, you're watching the introduction and instruction recording. Read chapter 14 from the Statistics for the Behavioral Science. It's analysis of variance, two-way between subjects factorial design. And here is the supporting PowerPoint presentation. There it is. And then also, and this is something that Dr. Kitchell has provided to me, but this is a website on the Research Methods Knowledge Base. So you click on here, and this takes you to factorial designs. So let's get back to our other, there we go. And then I've got a YouTube video on the introduction to two-way ANOVA, factorial analysis, and then two-way between subjects ANOVA using SPSS. And post your module reflection. I've already posted mine. It's recommended that this module be completed by March 29th, and we now are getting into the home stretch, the last month of the term, the semester. And so we'll have the quantitative 2, the second quantitative assignment, and that will be open for you here pretty quickly after I record this. So it will be open before the recommended completion of this module. And we're also looking at the final projects, final paper, final presentation for the course. And again, it's suggested that this be completed by March 29th, the end of March. That concludes the introduction and instruction for Module 9 for ED 5840. Please let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.